I bite my tongue, it's a bad habit. Kinda mad that I didn't take a stab at it. Thought you were too good for me, my dear. Never gave me time to be my dear. It's okay, this happened for reasons that I'm not sure, yeah. I wish I knew you wanted me.
It was about 4 years ago, specifically in around February till March when I stumbled upon a peculiar Twitter post. The post featured a video, and what it seems like a showcase of a Life 2D featuring an interesting character in an interesting situation.
逃げる今すぐにでも窓から飛び降りる死ぬかな死ぬよな死にたい殺すいや違う
As the average person who happens to be sexually attracted to females, such as myself, would see this and the first thing that would come to mind is... wife. As it lit up my dopamine receptors somewhere in the brain, curiosity sparked. And in that moment, decades of human evolution regressed into pure, unfiltered primal instinct. Monkeys see. Monkey do want to know the name of the game and find the means on how to play it. And that's how I discovered a gacha game called
FBI! Clear right!
This game has a lot of things that I like, and one of those things is the character designs. And when it comes to a collection of anime girls, naturally there could only be one for one man. And at one lone S tier in my tier list is none other than Riku Hachima Aru. She was my first real 3-star other than Maki and the big chicken girl and this American. She looks cool, her EX skill is cool, and that one CG from the PV makes her look like she has a lot more going on than meets the eye. Aru as a character was a very interesting case. At first glance, she seems like the kind of girl who would call you a good boy after you make her an omelet sandwich, but after 10 minutes of research, you realize she's basically just LARPing as a Red Dead Redemption character. I love Get Moe characters. I mean, what's not to love learning about another side of a person's personality that you didn't really thought they had from your first impression? It adds another layer of depth to a character, I think, and it kind of like immerses you in a way like you are getting to know an actual person. It's like getting to know this huge dude named Hercules and finding out that they're actually a sweetheart and is a big fan of Funny Cats compilation videos. I feel like Blue Archive has a lot of these type of characters, and that's what makes them a lot more appealing. Now, it would be very unfortunate if the game had an issue where it crashes every 5 minutes of gameplay and, I don't know, made me uninstall the game.
Studies have shown that men prefer women who have an hourglass figure.
Goon so much, you may even get tired of gooning!
We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
Remember, Sam, every parcel is a promise made to a person in need, and they're counting on you to deliver.
Set dalam juga anjing air. Kudu cetek.
Where's the chicken girl with the swimsuit? Okay, so apparently I missed part 1 of the event. Should I spend my 24k blue rocks on the sexy dark elf demon with the sexy tummy, voiced by the freaky ninja from that one harem anime I watched 9 years ago, or a lolly in an elementary school swimsuit?
ゲヘナの風紀委員長ヒナ
Damn, all of that with only 3 costs? She is awesome sauce. All in all, I ended up using her a lot. Other than her being very useful in red stages, I feel like there's something else about this character. Like, how the hell did we get from this design to this? Like, I'm kinda curious on the context. But anyways, let's move on to the next best thing. The thing that made me try out the game in the first place. Let's see her live 2D. But what I got was something beyond my expectations. A beautiful, vibrant colored scenery stretches you before as you gaze out at the calm, deep sea. While you're enjoying the moment with the person sitting next to you with a soft voice, she talks about something. Something she's always wondered about.
なんでみんなそんなに海が好きなんだろうってずっとそう思ってた。みんなは楽しそうだけど私はどうしても好きになれなくて。
Something about the appeal of just watching the sea and how she doesn't really quite understand the appeal of it.
水の中はよく見えないし足がつかないと不安だし。先生もそう思ったことない？
She describes how blurry the sea waters is and how nervous she gets when her feet can't touch the ground.
特に夜の海はまるで暗闇みたいに不気味で見てるだけで吸い込まれそうで好きになれなかったけど。
Especially when it's dark, everything seems like an abyss that stares back.
でも今はみんなの気持ちが少しだけ分かった気がする。海ってこんなに綺麗だったのね。
But now, she feels the same way as everyone. She understands how beautiful the sea can be.
不思議。今までこんな風に思ったことなかったのに。ありがとう先生。一緒にいてくれて、いろんなことを教えてくれて。
Well, it is strange that she feels a bit different now. She thanks you for being here and everything, hinting that you're the reason why she feels this way. I think it is a bit underappreciated on how they use the small body language as a visual cue. The way she sits, the way her expression shifts as she gets lost in thought, the way she briefly glances at you, almost like she's checking to see if you're still there. While her Japanese dialogue was simple enough for my wee brain to understand, her motions conveys a lot of emotions. It gives us the feeling of someone is lonely, someone isolated due to some circumstances. From the soft, introspective monologue to the moment of realization and that awkward, hesitant thank you.
ありがとう先生。
I didn't know much about this character at the time, but for some reason, I suddenly had the urge to wanting to see her smile more. And that is how I fell head over heels for Sorasaki Hina. This is one of those why I love X character videos since we did that collaboration a while back. That was a year ago, holy shit. And I felt like I owe a video of my own. But this one is going to be a little different. Instead of just listing all the reasons why I like X character, I'm taking a trip down memory lane, looking back at my first impressions while rereading the very stories that made me love this character in the first place. And so, the date is November 8, 2021. Global release is right around the corner and new senseis are struggling to run the game on their emulators. Well, at least it's not as bad as the problems that are coming. While people are re-rolling for literally weeks so they can get a meta character, and Hatsune Miku for some reason is not even fucking out yet for them. For me, I'm a man with a mission. And with only one re-roll attempt, I achieved the first step.
You are not fucking Aru, man. Who are you?
Standard Hina was a unit. This tiny gal can wield an MG42 with just her right arm. And the sound it makes from that gun barrel.
I've been enlightened. I've been enlightened!
Her character's sprite design screams battle ready. With the main signifier of her putting up the gloves, seemingly she's ready to fuck things up. Whenever you deploy her, she would say,
めんどくさい
means water troublesome in Japanese. And when you try to pick her up on the selection screen, she would say,
いいわ
it means fish in Japanese.
Foreshadowing as a narrative device.
So I started reading volume 1. This volume mainly focuses on Abido's high school, but through the strings of fate, becomes entangled with two groups from the Gian Academy. The on-the-run criminal group known as Problem Solver 68, and the pursuers, Hina's Prefect team. We first hear about the Prefect team in episode 17 when Problem Solver 68 describes them as the most feared organization in Kivotos. Kayoko, the only person that has a brain in that group, mentioned that the group's sole reason for having such a fearsome reputation is because of their head prefect, Sorasaki Hina. Through the perspective of the group from the same school, the narrative tells us the reputation of a possible threat that are coming. A threat rooted not in group identity, but from a lone individual. And with that kind of introduction, of course the expected outcome of the story is that we're probably going to fight the Prefect team in an unsuspecting manner. But with the power of student depths and friendship, we won the battle, despite being outnumbered. But then... she arrived. As the air suddenly gets an intimidating turn, she inserts her power. Now that is a character introduction. By visibly changing the stakes of the battle by just showing up, supported by the reactions of other characters, without even showing what she's capable of, is what it means to have power. A presence menacing enough that can make people invisible. You know something is serious when the analyst of the battlefield suddenly rather wants to have a conversation instead of fighting. Well, two analysts for both sides. Having power in essence means the ability to influence, control, or direct outcomes. And to attain those is by recognition. And Hina perfectly encapsulates that essence in the scene. But the overall outcome shows her truer character. In other words, this shit is so tough. Oh hey! I'm just playing Yakuza 0. This is like the most iconic scene from the game. It's a character introduction for the second playable character and the fan favorite, Goro Majima. You know what? Talking about character introductions, in some ways, Hina and Majima are kinda similar. I mean, both characters bowed their heads in their character introductions, both are feared by people around them, and both have a front.
Foreshadowing as a narrative device.
My wife just texted me. Momotalk time. It is late at night at Gehenna downtown, and we are meeting our very special student. We call her miniature, as in miniature, because she has a short stature. Here's a picture of the creature. She mentions the reason why she's meeting it specifically at night. It's because she's a bit of a celebrity figure in Gehenna. Something about how she feels like her every move is being watched, how she is aware of it, and that sometimes leads her to not having time for herself. As you compare her like she's some sort of an idol and tells her that she's a cutie patootie. She tells you to watch the tone, as you double down and back that flushed expression. She then mutters something that is objectively incorrect. Oh yeah, about that consultation that we are here for. I thought this was a date. You read the document Hina brought, give your opinion on it, and then she thanked you for your perspective. For her current position, she seems to be like a person that appreciates outside insights, especially from someone like you. This episode tells a lot more about her reputation as Gehenna's head prefect, and the effect of having that kind of reputation. We also learn a bit about her different traits that she has. It is also the first introduction of Sensei and Hina's regular power dynamic whenever the two meet. Episode 2 is quite a short one, and it's about how Hina now realizes the possibility of scandalous rumors, for the reason that they always do a meetup at night. So this time, they actually tried to plan a schedule for daytime. In episode 3, we finally get to see her teenager in broad daylight. Because we're going to the shopping mall! Let's go, girly! It's time for you to eat! That was the plan, at least. But Sensei only has 3 hours to make the most out of it.
3 hours!
As you find the entrance to the mall, minutes later, Hina kind of caught on and asked you why you chose this place. Well, you see, Hina, it was just a front so I could take you on a date. As you wander around through the mall with Hina, browsing different stores and sections, nothing really seems to catch Hina's interest. Eventually, the two of you decided to take a break at a nearby diner. And that's when you notice it. Hina looks a bit restless. When you ask her what's wrong, she hesitates. Before admitting that she thinks she ruined the date, she is convinced you must be disappointed in her. She then says, I know I'm not a fun person to be around. I never have been. This episode highlights something deeply personal about Hina, her struggle with connection. Throughout the mall trip, whenever the two of you stop by a store, she often makes comments along the lines of, other students would probably enjoy this. While she knows that it is a personal preference thing and also knowing the reasons why it won't be personally appealing for her, she also knows that she herself is a bit distinct from other regular students. It is normal to assume that you are probably someone that nobody wants to be around when you know very well that you are very different from the others. As the person in front of her asks to pick out clothes that she likes, and her trying her best to be interested, she still wasn't sure. She is restless not because her plan for today was unexpectedly becoming a shopping date. She is restless because the person that is in front of her might also feel the same way. That is why she was anxious when you told her that it's a date, as she comes forward and tells you up front. Of course, we, as Sensei, immediately reassure her that's what makes Hina Hina. We're not saying that she's boring, it's just she's not the type of person to get excited over these things, and that's okay. Her uniqueness is what makes her special, and even if she doesn't know what she likes, then we can figure it out together. Like, I don't know, maybe going to the beach and watching the beautiful sea. Then, in a small but meaningful moment, we learn something new about her. She drinks black coffee with no sugar. We tease her about having mature taste, and for the first time, we see her laughing. After breaking the ice, she starts jokingly self-deprecates, and we tell her that today was a good day. Because of today, not only did we get to hear Hina's laughter, but we also get to know her a little better. Sensei pressured Hina to go for a walk.
Why so serious?
Hina hasn't slept all day, while mentioning that her hair is a mess. This information will be relevant later on. Interestingly, she mentions that it's all your fault.
What did he say fuck me for?
As you notice that she looks tired because she looks like she's about to fall over, you ask her to sit on the bench with you. As the sleep deprivation state takes over, and her feeling extra comfortable, instead of sitting next to you, she decides to sit on your lap. Now imagine this. Hina's full weight pressing down on your thighs, her unwashed hair 3 centimeters from your face. It takes a big man to resist the urge. And today, you realized you're not as big as a man as you thought. It is late at night, and out of nowhere, Hina sends several Momotalk messages. She is venting about her work. That's unusual. Sensing something's off, you decided to check on her. When you arrive at her office, you find her alone, buried under stacks of paperwork, trying to cram an entire night's worth of work into one sitting. You offer her to help, but she refuses. So instead, you sit next to her, just watching as she works. It's suddenly getting hot in here, she mutters. You reach out and place your palm on her forehead. Then, without thinking, you gently ruffle her hair, giving her a head pat. Hina immediately pulls away. She doesn't want to get too comfortable. If she lets herself relax, she might actually fall asleep. But honestly, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Just like that, Hina was fast asleep. I put a cloak over her and quietly left the room. And after you finish her Momotalk, you are rewarded with a live 2D of her doing an equivalent of a dog showing a sign of submission. I couldn't come up with a better analogy. The last 2 episodes was pretty freaky. It did stay consistent with the lighthearted comedic tone that they had from episode 1 though, until it got more romantic-ish towards the end.
実は先生のそういう顔が好き。
Hey yo, chill the fuck out, yo. You said
But I feel like the last 2 episodes did well on establishing her development of being more comfortable towards Sensei. Now talking about Sensei and Hina's dynamic, I think Hina's comfort came from how Sensei treated her. The love parents give should be without strings, not dependent on achievement. Learn with your child. Don't send them out to name flowers, but to go out with them. Discover things together. This was advice said by Professor Psychologist Joan Freeman in her book Gifted Child and How They Grow Up. In a lot of ways, you can describe Hina as a gifted student. From being a very mature leader to the ability of attaining knowledge in the field in a short amount of time to her trait of her always overworking. But being a gifted student also means that she is prone to its problems. Asynchronous development, social isolations, high expectations are the social challenges that the average gifted child goes through according to studies, and the signs are prevalent in Hina's Momotalk story. As powerful of a character Hina is, she is still a student. Don't send them out to name flowers, but to go out with them. Go to places that she isn't regularly go to, spend time and discover things, not mattering the task in hand, but to have fun. Letting her know that it's okay to sometimes to take breaks, that it's okay to rely on people, and that it's okay to be yourself.
Here's this week's schedule and a summary report, Head Prefect, as well as a hot cup of coffee. Have a sip.
This coffee is exquisite, Aka.
What did she say?
Finally, summertime. In the holy month of March. Yes, I live in Southeast Asia, how can you tell? Other than getting excited to pull Swimsuit for the second time, I'm also excited for the event story itself. Since the last two event story I've read was pretty enjoyable, I can't wait to experience the story that led up to this. Like, man, look at her smile on the animated preview. Can't wait. Alright, let me summarize the whole event story. So it starts off with Akko being paranoid for the sole reason of Hina telling her coffee is very good but with fancy wording. And that made her under the impression that the Hina Prefect is most probably, most likely, most definitely stressed out. So she'd come up with a plan to make the hit Prefect to take a vacation in disguise of a summer boot camp. Not a bad idea, right? Yeah, also we should ground her in a hotel for the rest of her vacation. That's a great fucking idea. Also bring in Sensei because she's madly in love with him. We met Hina at her hotel room and mentions about her interesting choice of swimsuit. She says it's simply for being practical, implying her body hasn't aged since elementary. Anyway, while you're chatting about trust and how much Hina relies on Akko, you suddenly get a phone call. Oh yes, Sensei, so there's kind of gang war breaking on the beach. Can you deal with that? So apparently there's like an ongoing war on the beach, so woman, please take care of that, and Sensei, look after the head prefect. Hina asks how explosive the ship was and your opinion about the beach.
Was that the
rare childlike curiosity from Hina?
She then asks you if you would like to go to the beach with her.
Yes, 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 yes!
This exact loop repeats for 3 entire episodes. Sensei hangs out with Hina at the hotel, gets a call about the gang fights, battle mode. Sensei returns, Hina gets suspicious. Hangs out with Hina at the hotel a bit more, gets a call about gang fights, battle mode. Sensei returns. Hina gets more suspicious, hangs out with Hina at the hotel a bit more, gets a call about gang fights, battle mode. Sensei returns. Then at the very last second, Hina finally steps in and obliterates everyone with one machine gun sweep, immediately solving all problems in
2 hours and 52 minutes.
We go back at Gehenna HQ. Hina explains that the entire quote-unquote Hina stress theory was just a misunderstanding, and that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's the entire event story. Okay, there is one particular scene that I kind of want to talk about. After the clash with the Gourmet Society, you can't help but feel bad. The plan isn't working out, and a part of you just wants to make it up for Hina. As you're about to call her, a message pops up on Momotalk. It's her. She asked if you mind spending some time with them for a little bit. And just like that, you find yourself taking a quiet stroll with Hina on the late night beach. The two of you walk in silence for a while. She then suddenly stops in her tracks and straight up gives you the question. It's about her suspicion on why you have these ridiculous excuses every time you were in the hotel room. She says that maybe it's just her being selfish. She concludes that she's just that boring of a person and uninteresting to be around. Understandably, you deny the claim for about 3 times. As she hears you wholeheartedly trying your best to clear up the misunderstanding, she couldn't help but laugh. It was just a prank. She knows more than anyone that you wouldn't lie about that. It's just something to get back at you. This, in my opinion, is the highlight of the story. It mirrored my favorite episode from her Momotalk story, specifically the shopping mall one. In a sense that both are similar but with a horizontal flip. The roles are now reversed. Instead of you being the one who is curious about her interests, she made the first move to ask about that curiosity. When you usually is the one who sent the Momotalk inviting her, now it's herself. This particular line is a nod to that one very similar dialogue from that Momotalk episode, and its interaction that comes after also serve as a continuity for her character. The same Sorasaki Hina, but it's a Hina that finally explores her childlike wonder. The childlike wonder that not only shown by the dialogue and its interactions, but also, well, her appearance. She wears a swimsuit for grade schoolers. Hear me out. The swimsuit choice and her whole character design is more deliberate than you think. What are the things that make Sorasaki Hina the head prefect in a visual standpoint? Personally, I would say her crown-shaped halo and her big coat with the prefect team arm shafts are the main identifiers. Other secondary parts like her wings, horn, etc. makes her distinct from the regular prefect team member. On her swimsuit alt, the coat is replaced with a floaty. The other parts like her crown and wings are noticeably smaller. She mentioned in the episode that she never had the chance to learn how to swim, a thing that she missed out on when she was younger, hence why she brings a pool float as an equipment. If her big coat is a symbol of responsibility as the head prefect, then her big floaty is a symbol of a missing childhood. Without the head prefect signifiers, her body frame looks visually smaller. There is a reason why her character sprite is drawn with a higher perspective angle. She looks more childlike, and that's by design. From the imposing look of a powerful leader to a young girl that still uses her floaty. Because what better way to physically showcase the theme of immaturity than a school mizuki? And with such a fit that is known for awkward early puberty hormones and nostalgia, it is supposed to symbolize about living on those younger days. In a sense, for just a while, she can finally be a kid again. Which is why I'm kind of disappointed in this event story. The summer events were their first try on adding more characterization on existing playable students. The Trinity one before this was pretty enjoyable. Having the 4 different eccentric Trinity characters doing the ever more cliche anime beach episode, with the difference of building sun covers for gunfights and why is there a tank on the beach, while also being a part of a build-up for Volume 3. While that one has a good focus on its 4 characters, I couldn't say the same for this one. I mean, yeah, Hina is the sole focus now, the event style is literally that, but at the same time, not really. There is a good amount of screen time for other characters in the event. Heck, even the Hot Spring development made an appearance. But the thing is, they don't really do anything with those set characters. They're just there for filling the episode runtime. Instead of actually giving more characterization for other Prefect team members, in this one, they had taken the back seat in the whole event story. Which kinda sucks. While I'm here solely for Hina, I feel like involving more of the Prefect team as, you know, a team could potentially not only bring more added characterization as the cast, but also for Hina as well. Instead, they did this similar bit from Volume 1, where at the end, Hina had to solely take care of their business, and Ako being the same dumbass for the main reason why this stupid event occurred in the first place. Because of this female dog, we won't see Hina's swimming lessons until 2 years later, where they finally add unique equipments and Bond 20 Momotalks. Talking about the Momotalk. Before the Bond 20 update, Swimsuit Hina Momotalk story is 3 episodes short. So short in fact that I can just summarize each with just a sentence. Episode 1, Hina gets mistaken as a child and got taken to a lost child center. Episode 2, Hina got so much paperwork that Sensei had to help her. And episode 3, she slept through the whole day because how tired she were. Very mundane episode, but the little gestures that they do in those episodes makes it worth it. She is visibly more reliant, more honest with her feelings, and seemingly more free. And when I finally experienced the Life 2D again, everything clicked. It feels like I'm seeing the Life 2D for the first time ever, but now with a new perspective. A perspective that she isn't isolated anymore, looking proudly to the lonely horizon, as she audibly wanders with her thoughts, a feeling that she never felt before. As she holds tightly to your cardigan, she says, "Thank you. It's because of you she isn't lonely anymore. It's because of you she feels this way. It's because of you she breaks out from her shell." When a baby duckling hatch from their eggshell, they follow their mother duck who can provide them with guidance, such as helping them navigate through the environment or to find them food. As there is no shell to hide anymore, the duckling needs to rely on their mother duck for safety, and it's the mother's responsibility to alert the ducklings for potential dangers. The young ducklings essentially rely on their mother to survive. But what if a duckling lost their track, couldn't keep up, and lost their sight of their guardian, exposed to the dangers of their surroundings? When the world is suddenly full of uncertainty, when conflict seems to be inevitable, caused by differences of ideals and beliefs, as the characters of the story struggle to find the answer to the lingering question of, what am I fighting for? Is it okay to sacrifice your closest friends, believing that the end justifies the means? Is it really our fight if the hatred we carry is inherited and not our own? Is it wrong to long for a cliche happy ending? It is a story about characters and their different kinds of resolve. Each one faces personal struggles and how they overcome them. And the strongest hearts are often the one that is most scarred. The reason why you're still breathing after getting shot to the stomach was because Hina was the one who literally took a bullet for you. This is what she looks like after that cruise missile. When you open that door, you see a very tired looking Hina. Before diving into this dialogue, I want to talk a little bit about this scene. This scene plays out after this one. And it is a build-up for this. The placing of this particular scene in a way is kinda confusing, but is deliberate. We just experienced one of the highest high in this chapter, but before we could actually reach the peak, the tone suddenly shifts in the middle. The fact that we are seeing a new character sprite just for Hina suggests the importance of the scene, and it builds up curiosity for the reader. This is the moment where Hina fully opens up. She talks about how she's exhausted from it all, how she isn't Takanashi Hoshino, comparing herself to someone else she sees as much stronger and a better version of herself. She expresses how hard her hard work goes unrecognized, how she tried, how she did everything she could, as she finally breaks out of her shell and lays everything bare before you. Sorasaki Hina is portrayed as an unstoppable, fearsome leader of Gehenna's Prefect team. Her mere presence is enough to make some Gehenna students shiver from just the thought of her. She is widely feared across the academy. She often appears calm and composed, handling situations with remarkable maturity. With certain instances, she is forced to swallow her pride. However, beneath her seemingly unshakable exterior, Hina is someone who works tirelessly, yet remains unseen. I came to appreciate her Bond story more on my second reading because of a side of her personality I didn't notice the first time. A person may have the strongest exterior and actually is strong, but no one is perfect, especially a child. A representation of you, the player, understands this and approaches her in a more playful manner, the opposite manner with how others treat her. It's as if you're telling her that she's not alone. As she realizes this, she lays it all out on you. Her exhaustion, her insecurities, her feelings of isolation, and her need for emotional support. You respond with your usual playful manner. Good morning. It is currently 10 a.m. and I just woke up. After writing this video for like this amount of time, I kind of forgot that this was supposed to be a review on the Gena party event at first, and funnily enough, I'm not going to talk about that in the video, unfortunately. Because we've already reached a point where I can finally answer the question of why I really like this character. And, well, also because I don't really want to upload this video in the year 2026. Simple answer is that I see myself in the character. Not as like she just like me for real type of deal, but more of like I see my younger self type of thing. First time I saw the live 2D that made me interested in her was in the middle of 2021. It was the year during and after the time where everyone was forced to experience what isolation is. Looking back at it, I think the circumstances at the time played a role in that first impression. Experiencing a 2-year-long isolation and a stressful semester of college kind of makes you relate on a lot of things, I guess. Seeing the live 2D and reading Hina's story, knowing more about her character, feels like I'm looking at my old cringy Facebook photo albums. The feeling of being colorblind on something that is beautiful, the feeling of you are the odd one out when the popular things don't appeal to you, the feeling of having insecurities, comparing yourself with others is something that I've gone through in my teen to young adult years. You know, the reason why I did those overly dramatic segments in this video, particularly that dialogue on the mall episode, was because I legit remember telling a very similar line back then to someone. And it's a very interesting feeling reading that line because now I'm on the receiving end. It kind of feels therapeutic in a way. I'm now on the shoes of that one friend at the time and realizing how stupid I sound saying those things. Hina being 17 years old kind of puts things into perspective. Being 17 years old means you are approaching into adulthood, and in most cases is. While Kivotos has a very different views on age, the main story of Blue Archive consistently explores the questions and the themes of what it means to be an adult. Her overall character design symbolizes what a literally young adult looks like, a contrast between immaturity and youth, represented by her role and appearance and the reality that she is still a young girl who is still developing and growing into adulthood. And the awesome thing is that you can see her ongoing development. I think, personally, the essence of Blue Archive story themes revolves around the meaning of adolescence. While the world itself is fantastical, it is also weirdly very nostalgia-driven. The story focuses more on the characters rather than the world itself. Each character's story tells the different types of adolescence, the different developments, and their own self-discovery. And the character that I gravitate the most is Sorasaki Hina. Reading through Hina's story reminded me of who I was. The reason why I was drawn to that live 2D and its instant feeling of wanting her to be happy is because I want to make my past self to be happy. The empathetic feeling made me drawn to this character, and the way how they reward you for it, you can't blame me for getting a bit parasocial. Thank you to Mark II for the 23 months, Ryan, Shori, and also Forsab for joining the highest tier of the membership, even though I wasn't uploading for the whole year. Also, the other very cool membership members on the screen for giving me rice and chicken on the plate. Okay, since Shori paid me like $100 a while back, I asked him if he wanted me to say a custom message. Check out the Streaminal. That's the custom message. But yeah, thank you for reaching this end of the video. I hope to see you guys again, hopefully in the year 2025. Oh man.